Let's go through the Steelers free agents, and you guys tell me when I get to a player who you absolutely want back, who you 100% want on the team next year. So we all agree, goodbye Bush. Larry Ogunjobi.
Yes,
I'd take him
I want him back. I think he was disruptive, and he wasn't even fully healthy this year. I want him back. I think that dude makes plays if he's healthy. And I think he's basically not practicing this year because he was still dinged up from that foot thing. As long as they don't determine that that's chronic and will be with him the rest of his career, 100%. Yes.
I don't know how they could determine that, though. I mean, the Bears thought enough of the chronic nature of it that they ripped up a contract for him.
I want him back. I am more willing to take the risk that it is chronic, and I still would want him back. If he's not practicing, I don't care. That guy got out there and made plays. He was disruptive.
I'm going to say no. I would take him back, but I don't need him back. If I, in free agency, find a defensive end who's younger and doesn't have the injury concerns, I think they got to get younger up front. I want their starting defensive line to be Leal, Hayward, and a third guy next year, and it doesn't have to be Ogunjobi for me.
Loudermilk.
Loudermilk played a lot yesterday. Loudermilk played more than Leal yesterday, which surprised me.
Can they find a way, Donnie, to get Big Hank Mondo back somehow?
He's got to be somewhere.
He's going to be playing in the USFL in a couple of weeks.
Defensive Player of the Year in the USFL.
Mason Rudolph.
Bye.
No.
Nope.
Cam Sutton.
Yes.
I still think he's their most
absolutely want back, though?
I still think he's their most versatile and best overall corner. I know that there are some numbers about he and Wallace both where they had really low ratings, passer rating against when they got targeted. I think Cam Sutton's the most versatile guy back there. Swiss Army knife. And it's closer to, like, legitimately useful in all his roles than jack of all trades, master of none with him. I think he's a good football player. And, dude, I'm surprised you are immediately going, yes, definitely want him back. Think of the hell of a time they have finding defensive backs, especially corners. They
finally found a decent one.
They drafted one, they developed one, and he's pretty good. I am not looking that gift horse in the mouth.
But I don't want to lock myself into the same secondary next year, man. I know they led the league in interceptions, which implies that they're good. But I look at their corners and I think, man, I still need a legitimate number one guy. And if I bring him back, where do I find that guy? Joey Porter Jr. with the 17th pick? Wallace still has years left. Witherspoon still has years left. I don't know I guess they're going to cut Jackson, who never played.
Boy, that was a fun one. William Jackson coming in here.
Practiced one time.
Mike Tomlin's answer on him was basically, I didn't see him. I don't really want to say anything about him.
All I'm saying is that I would take Sutton back, but it's got to be on the Steelers' terms. I don't want to pay him.
Who would you rather have be on their roster next year? They draft Porter 17th and Sutton's gone, or they keep Sutton and they draft a different position?
I would rather have the keep Sutton and draft another position.
Me too.
All right, Wormley.
Nah.
Donnie?
I wouldn't mind keeping him, but I don't need them to keep
him. Just a guy.
Derek Watt.
No.
Derek Watt now, touchdown maker,
I
short
was just
yardage
say,
guru.
the man's a fullback trap machine. But no, please, be done.
Alu, no. Edmonds.
Actually, yes, for me.
I'm still lukewarm. I feel like I'm settling if I say yes hardcore to that, because the guy's greatest ability is he doesn't really get hurt by and large, and he's just solid. I feel like you should be able to find Terrell Edmonds all over the league. There should be somebody out there. Like, I saw KZ make a more splashy play in that game yesterday than Edmonds usually makes.
I think they should try to get Tremaine Edmonds over here. Throw some money
I
at.
heard Stark,
interception.
I heard Stark and Cook talking about that, and Joe admitted it was a pipe dream. But here's where I disagree with Joe. He said a bunch of true things about Tremaine Edmonds, that, get rid of the Miles Jack deal, cut him, and then have that guy solidify the middle of the defense. I'm not paying big money to a free agent inside linebacker.
He's also hurt a lot.
I'm just not doing it, though.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
So Terrell Edmonds, though, to go back to him, I would say I don't need him back.
I don't need him back either, but if I can do his contract all over again, if I could run that back, I would.
Do you think the player would do that again?
No, I don't think so.
You think the league would look at him a little bit more favorably after how he played this year?
They should.
Okay, so if the number isn't going to come back what it did last time, then
Robert
bye-bye.
Spillane.
No, again, I feel like I'm settling here.
Donnie?
I feel like if I say, yeah, I want Bob Spillane back, then I am immediately putting a cap on that position, what it's capable of.
I don't mind having the guy in depth, but I don't want him to be a starter, which is probably what they're looking at with him.
God, you know what? I
They
think
love him.
I was going to say they love him because they found him, they developed him, and even though he is an obviously limited player, I think they love that they feel they've maxed the guy out.
How about Casey?
I do want him back. I think that guy can play.
Me too.
I'd take him back.
Of all the guys we've come across and what I think their free agent value would be and what their upside is and what role they can have, I'm actually weirdly excited about him.
If it was him or Edmonds and I had to pick, I'd take him immediately.
Like all these guys that we've named, like most of these guys that we've named so far, if the Steelers brought him back, I wouldn't hate it, but I also would not bemoan them leaving in free agency. The last two free agents are Snell and Gentry. Goodbye to both those guys? Yes? Yeah?
I'm more intrigued by Gentry.
But I want to see Hayward play more.
But yeah, Hayward's starting to get on my radar now. You know what? Hayward is basically shorter version, but he's Gentry and Derek Watt, what they're supposed to be. Like a guy who can theoretically block for you, is obviously got a knack as a pass catcher. I got a weird feeling that Kenny Pickett, if he were naming the guys he likes throwing to, Hayward might sneak into that top 4 now.